Tashtale, you're watching Tibet This Week, a new weekly feature in English that provides a preview of this week's news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration. On Monday this week, the Tibetan spiritual leader and global icon of peace, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, called for a century of peace at a book launch event of former Himachal Chief Minister and current Lok Sabha member Sri Shantakumar. The event was attended by over 100 officials and members of Himachal government and local administrations, former ministers of Himachal Pradesh and by Tibetan dignitaries. Addressing the large gathering, His Holiness said,
등가지고 무슨 말이 지금 천직보다 된적이 신신 상물로 선주 직교로지 배지 용되기도 사들이 인도산에 다 세와 전에 강에서 되어서는 시작하고 그러셔 세 미성을 마게다 아니 가서 공주 숙처를 가지 차되기도 사들이 인도산에 그 강다직 세와 영향이 자외 교류디 생문 나오는 시당 차당 것들이 걸려있는 거 여러분. 그래서 dinri 인도산에 가다다 들으면서 써지거든. 모두 처음에 들으시고 그것도
Sri Shantakumar expressed his respect and deep admiration for His Holiness the Dalai Lama's message of compassion, non-violence and religious harmony. He appealed to the central government of India to honor His Holiness with Bharat Ratna, the country's highest civilian award. Sri Shantakumar is quoted saying,
मैं आग्रह करूंगा बड़े जोर से आग्रह कर रहा हूं कि भारत सरकार को भी चाहिए कि महामना दलाई लामा जी को भारत रत्न जैसे सर्वोच्च सम्मान करे यह तिब्बत के प्रति.
On Friday last week, the members of 15th Kashak led by Sikyong Dr. Lobsang Sengye were granted a special audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. During the brief audience, His Holiness stressed the importance of preserving Tibetan language and teachings of Buddha. His Holiness advised that the ancient tradition of Nalanda, which can potentially benefit the entire humanity, can best be interpreted by the Tibetan language. On Friday last week, the Tibet Museum launched a photo exhibition titled Revisiting the Cultural Revolution in Tibet at the Tibet Museum in McLeodganj. Kalyong Kama Gile Yuthok of Department of Religion and Culture, Central Tibetan Administration, inaugurated the exhibition coinciding with the 50th anniversary since the beginning of the Cultural Revolution in China. The photo exhibition documenting the Cultural Revolution in Tibet consists of 6 phases: the start of revolution, destruction of Chokhang Temple, the struggle session, name change, creation of new god, and destruction of monasteries. On Thursday last week, Mr. Tashi Phuntsok, representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama at Bureau de Tibet, Brussels, called on Mr. Michel Raison, the president of the Tibet group in French Senate. During an hour-long meeting, the two sides discussed on the issues ranging from strengthening of collaboration in French Parliament, future course of action, and sharing of information with regard to situation inside Tibet. The Senate Tibet Group, officially known as International Group of Information on Tibet, was created in year 2000 and has currently 22 members representing all sections of French political parties. On Saturday last week, the democratically elected political leader Sikyong Dr. Lobsang Sengye left for the United Kingdom for a week-long official engagement in London. Sikyong addressed the Tibetan community in Britain and visited London School of Tibetan Language and Culture. Sikyong spoke at world-famous Oxford University Forum on the topic, Rise of China, What About Tibet? Focusing on the middle way approach, Sikyong also spoke at the University of Westminster on the uniqueness of Tibetan experimentation with democracy in exile, its strength and challenges. Sikyong spoke to members of Henry Jackson Society, a think tank working to advance democracy and real human rights, chaired by Member of Parliament Fabian Hamilton. On Tuesday this week, Honourable Speaker John Bercow welcomed Sikyong to the House of Commons in the Parliament House. The Speaker acknowledged the presence of Sikyong in the House and expressed his strong support for the non-violent and just cause of Tibet. See Kyung also addressed the meeting of all-party parliamentary group for Tibet in the UK Parliament, chaired by Member of Parliament Tim Loughton, attended by, among others, 10 members of Parliament representing 3 political parties in the UK Parliament. On Monday this week, The Guardian published an op-ed by See Kyung titled "A Plea to Britain, Don't Forget Tibet in Your Dealings with China." The op-ed piece calls on Britain to take a stronger stand on China and to strengthen its strategic engagement with China with regard to Tibet and His Holiness the Dalai Lama in a post-Brexit era. On Tuesday this week, See Kyung was featured live on BBC World News with host Halda Yakim and spoke about situation inside Tibet and the large-scale demolitions in Larungkhar, the largest Buddhist academy in the world. See Kyung also responded to questions about 15th Dalai Lama and said that Tibetans pray and wish for a great 15th Dalai Lama.
But as a Tibetan, he is an amazing leader. We want the 15th Dalai Lama to come, and it is for the Tibetan people to wish and pray that there be next Dalai Lama, and for sure. But he's very healthy.
See Kyung stressed on the fact that the world leaders and governments must defy China's pressure and meet with the Dalai Lama and gain some wisdom from him.
He should be welcomed by leaders around the world and to meet and gain some wisdom from him.
This much for the week. See you next Friday. Have a good weekend.